Can you hear me?
Yep, all good. All right, Smith, it's the day before. It's 4th of July Eve here in the United States. Welcome back to the show.
Do you give young Austin a gift on 4th of July Eve, or do you make him open all his 4th of July presents on the 4th itself?
We wait until midnight to do it. We light a sparkler, gather around, gather around the sparkler, and open his July 4th gifts, the patriotic gifts,
Is he getting a Hulk Hogan action figure done up in red, white, and blue this year?
as we play I Am a Real American. Um, for real though, that kid gets toys every single day. Like
Is
yesterday, something showed up from Grandma and Grandpa in the mail, Amazon. Today we were at the grocery store and there's a Paw Patrol ball. He's like, "Can I have that?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever."
yeah,
Like all day. He had swim lessons this morning. Finishes his swim lesson. She gives him a bag. The bag has
toys.
sunglasses in it. Yeah, a bunch of toys in it. It's like all day, every day.
Man, to be a kid in this day and age,
How are we going to scrape out of it? Back, claw our way out of this into a normal existence where he becomes an adult and instead of giving things, he's just constantly paying bills.
I mean, that's the gift. That's what you teach him is the gift is to pay bills.
He is going to be so ill prepared, let me tell you. Also, shouting, we're laughing so hard. His diet, he basically can eat whatever he wants whenever he wants.
Yeah.
So he shouts at us from bed, turkey sandwich. And I'm like scrambling to get up and make him a turkey sandwich. And she's just like, what are we doing, dude? And when I say he can eat whatever he wants, I don't mean he's eating junk food all the time. I
But
just
just
mean, we're his personal chefs basically at his beck and
es-
call.
especially if he shouts out. I mean, I think if they're smart, uh, any shout out of a vaguely healthy snack or food, like if he's like avocado with a little bit of Himalayan sea salt and little splash of organic lemon on top, then it's like on it.
That's kind of how I feel, to be honest.
Yeah.
He is respectful. He's good. Whatever. He's all the great things. So with crazy stuff like that, I don't feel like it's spoiling him. It's like I want him to eat, and he's making a good choice. So I don't mind if he's hungry and he's in bed. I don't mind doing it at that point. But it might come back to bite me.
I don't know. I feel this like fueling the machine with good fuel. When you look around at all the kids out there who are just eating garbage, you got to think, okay, kids got a leg up on the competition here out of the gate just by eating his turkey sandwich as opposed to flaming hot Cheetos.
So I see along those lines a real separation of classes, not literal classes. Well, I guess that too, but um, because you do see, there's more awareness of health food and just healthy lifestyle now than ever before, and more information and people abiding by it. And then there's also heavier people and more unhealthy people than I've ever seen in my life.
Flaming hot Cheetos, man.
It's too convenient. There's just so much convenience food around. But I mean, I mean, honestly, I guess it is related to class, not uh, um, that skinny people have money and unhealthy people don't. But while there is a separation in classes, like an erosion of the middle class, and there are becoming more billionaires and more destitute people and less in the middle, I feel like maybe the same thing is happening health wise.
I just got sucked into a deep dive, a wildly unexpected deep dive into the Jonestown massacre this morning.
Okay.
Like there was something, I don't know what, oh, they're offering tourists. I don't know how long. I think it's been going on fairly recently. So you can go in Guyana, you can go tour now Jonestown, right? And it's mostly taken over by the jungle. I think there's like they have a plaque for the people who, like the victims and all that. I mean, 900, right? Like it's crazy looking back. 300 kids uh drank the Kool-Aid, which I learned today was not actually Kool-Aid. It was a Kool-Aid knockoff called Flavor Aid. So Kool-Aid totally got it was grape Flavor Aid.
Wow.
But I wonder in this day and age if a lot of the kids would have said, "Is that organic? Is Flavor Aid organic? Can't drink it."
That is hilarious. Man, unfortunate for Kool-Aid, right?
I mean,
To be
Kool-Aid got
slapped with that branding.
Cersei just came in with an incredulous laugh at me for that comment. Do you have something to say? Oh, she just backed away. She does not have anything to say about
It,
organic Flavor Aid.
if Flavor Aid or Kool-Aid even introduced an organic line, I would be blown away.
Yeah,
What?
it was a comment that is, yeah,
Okay.
best saved for later.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Speaking of those packets of colored artificial everything.
They're gone.
Oh, are they?
I mean, I think old RFK Jr. is taken out. There's going to be no more Fruity Pebbles are now going to be the vague color of beige.
Hmm. That's going to be pretty unappetizing.
It's going to be, but it's going to be so much. I mean, imagine the amount of poison we have gladly eaten just
I know.
because it was hot pink.
That's how dumb we are.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of those packets of color, I bought some yesterday, Jello,
Oh yeah.
because Lauren wants to make Jello shots for the 4th of July, which I want no part in. I understand the festivity of it, but it's just like, first of all, midday vodka, not really my brand. Secondly, adding sugar to an alcohol, also definitely not my brand. Both of these things are not the right combo for me.
Also, what are you actually getting in a Jello shot, right? You're getting a lot of Jello, but you're getting like a maybe if you're lucky, an ounce of
Because it won't turn to gelatin if there's more than a tiny amount of
exactly.
alcohol.
And so you're
Yeah.
getting a to get a whatever you're going for, you're going to have like 15 Jello shots. And now all of a sudden it's going to spike because now you've got actually a drink worth plus that amount of sugar Jello.
Plus more sugar than you could ever pack into an actual cocktail.
Exactly.
Yeah. And all the cancer causing agents as well.
Have you ever been around a party where the Jello shots come out and people are like, yeah, yeah, yeah?
Every single time Jello shots come out, yes,
It's
that's what the
so weird.
reaction is.
Why do people like Jello shots? Is it just straight up juvenile,
Yeah.
like reptilian brain? Jello yum. Now I'm an adult. Vodka yum.
I think it's actually more reptilian than that is the color. What we originally landed on is just it's bright, it's festive, and this is a thing that we can all rally around.
So you're telling me we can't do vodka grilled cheese sandwiches and have the same, just bringing them out. We got vodka spiked grilled cheeses.
So I kind of like the idea of soaking a sandwich. This is a better idea.
Yeah.
Get the sandwich you love. That one's very absorbent and dip it in the alcohol. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. When everybody's doing Jello shots, I'm going to be like, you guys, I'm going to one up you right now. Pull out the glitzy hot dog with a bun around it and just dip it in a cocktail and boom.
A club sandwich dipped straight into tequila.
All right. Well, 4th of July is tomorrow. Are you celebrating?
Yes, I think a pool party here in New York City is the celebration on tap.
Does that mean on the top of a roof or an indoor pool?
I think definitely not an indoor pool. A rooftop pool is the go.
I gotta say, rooftop pools may be the peak of humanity's creations.
There's nowhere else we can go. There's nowhere higher. I mean, I feel the ancient Egyptians, if they could have figured out a rooftop pool on the pyramids, they would have hit it back then. They didn't know what they were doing.
Modern Egyptians can do it. They
I mean,
can
they do it.
exactly. They can renovate the current uh, pyramids and create a pool up there.
They should fully on Cheops. They should fully just do a tiered out pool deck party swimming pool. Just people up there, day club, done.
Infinity pool off into
Yep.
the desert. I love that.
Yep.
Good for you, man. Rooftop pool in New York's got to be a great way to celebrate 4th of July.
I figure it's going to be. What are you doing?
Barbecuing and then going to a friend's house for fireworks. So I am manning the grill and cooking
Do Jello shots come out as a guests are arriving thing? Are
for
Jello
sure.
shots a dessert? Are Jello shots a where do Jello shots get brought out into the festivities?
Lauren likes to get the party going. So, so I have a feeling breakfast might be. I don't know how if people are going to come over for breakfast, but I'm sure she'll have them made by breakfast and she might sneak one before guests come over. So yeah, the sooner the better, I think. The other thing is the anticipation and the buildup of the holiday. So we've been buying groceries and kind of map planning for it for a week. So you're ready to go. You're raring, you know?
Are you frustrated? I think we've had this discussion before, but how are you frustrated when the holiday falls on a Friday, where now you got a classic 3 day weekend, totally fine and good, classic 3 day weekend. But when it falls on a Wednesday, that means your whole week is fully shot and shot in a good way,
I
generally.
Yeah, so I think if I had to pick, Thursday's the ideal day.
Yeah.
Because you get Friday off. Wednesday, there may be a little obligation on a Monday and a after Wednesday of people who expect you to return an email or something like that. Thursday is the perfect day because nobody expects anything of you Friday. I also need those days to recover. So you hit it hard on Thursday and you got 3 days of like recuperation.
Who knew that our ancient, for us Americans, our ancient forefather pilgrims knew that from the get? Thursday.
What did
Thanksgiving
they?
is always on Thursday.
You're
Thanksgiving
right.
is only on Thursday. Thanksgiving doesn't rotate. Thanksgiving doesn't fall on a day. Thanksgiving falls on Thursday.
They put some thought into it.
They really thought those our pilgrims forefathers thought, you know what, people are going to need stinking 3 day weekend ain't that great. The 4 day weekend also buys you half of Wednesday, but you can also get some work done Monday, Tuesday. You can start work Wednesday. You can stop at 10 a.m. thinking, you know what? It's Thanksgiving. Boom.
They nailed it.
Geniuses.
I have a question, personal question for you. Can you enjoy a Sunday? Like for me, even though Sunday's a day off, the impending doom of Monday looms.
Yes, I totally hear you. And forever, Sunday has been a tough one. It's been because once you're in Monday, the bad has already started, right? And so you are already in the bad, which being in the bad is nowhere near as bad as thinking about the bad, right? Like when I have the, say, a 4 a.m. flight next day, or I got it early ups next day, the day before is way worse than the
Totally.
actual 4 a.m. up because once you kick your feet out of bed, here we go. Then you're going, right? It's
Yeah,
the thinking about it the full day before. Yeah, Sunday's a real, I mean, I will say in terms of Sabbath, our Jewish brothers and sisters have it right on making the Sabbath Saturday. And also our Seventh day Adventist brothers and sisters, where the day off or the Sabbath is Saturday because you know you're gearing up for stuff on Sunday.
yeah. I've had a real psychological battle with myself through my entire adulthood about trying to embrace a Sunday
Yeah.
or trying not to
Dave,
let that impending doom
because
dominate it.
because theoretically it is the day of rest, right?
Yeah,
That is the day of rest. That's the day that we should not be worried about what's coming next. That should be the day that we are decompressing.
I do physically rest generally on Sundays, and I do kind of design the day to decompress, but it's an internal mechanism that I cannot beat.
The I will say the older I get, Sunday becomes like knowing or having felt that feeling long enough of the dreads. I mean, there's a name now. The trendy kids call what is it? The
Scaries.
Sunday scaries. Exactly. So once you get a TikTok name attached to you, then it's time for the whole mechanism to realize, okay, wait, we got Sunday scaries attached to this thing. Let's reorder this thing. Where maybe should Monday be a half day?
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to rebrand Monday, basically,
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah. It's not the
All right.
Monday. What did Garfield always call the oh, just I hate Mondays.
Yeah. We've been watching a bit of Garfield. Garfield, I'm a fan.
I
Classic.
mean, a grouchy orange cat.
Who loves lasagna?
Yeah.
It's very funny. Well, I was supposed to open the show with a video, so let's just pretend this is the beginning of the show, and here we go.
Okay. We're in Brazil, what a thrill. Who's gonna make a killing on these waves? Italo's out there flipping around. Cosby's going to town. What are you gonna say? Sakurama town. Hey, don't turn that frown. Or no, turn that frown upside down, because we're in Sacktown. Hey.
That was so good. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Good luck. Back to you guys. Amazing.
Thank you,
That was awesome.
I want to be a part of this fucking dumb.
So obviously, one of the highlights
no.
of the Rio Pro.
Oh no, I missed that in real time.
Did you see the clip though until now?
That was the first time
now?
I saw the clip. So I saw a whatever came in to my DMs after of I've had a couple now of people beatboxing, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, why are you sending me like, yeah, it's cool. People beatboxing and freestyle rapping. I guess that's cool. I had zero idea that's what it was related to.
Yeah, Griffin Colapinto post heat interview doing a freestyle rap. I didn't watch the event live, so I don't know how she teed that up, like if she asked him to rap or what. But what are your thoughts? Griffin Colapinto has been the most free-giving interviewer during his post-heat interviews. Famously at Margaret River, talked about how he felt good during his heat because he took a dump prior. He just says what's on his mind.
It's great. I want Griff to keep being Griff. To be honest, I do not want to be rude. I don't want to be critical. This is what we've been, let's be frank, kind of asking for, begging for, wanting for the last 5 years of just somebody show some personality, right? And Griff is showing his personality. And so I've got to I'm thankful for it. But let's get into the nitty gritty here. I'm thankful for it also because we get to griff on it. No pun intended. And so here's what I'm thinking there. That was an awful freestyle rap. It wasn't funny. It wasn't intelligent. It wasn't witty. It wasn't good.
It was novice, and he actually botched it midway through.
And so what I think is that Griff's been doing this around the competitors area, right? He's been throwing down some freestyle raps. Everybody's saying, Griff, that's so funny. Griff, that's so good. Griff, ha, 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 ha. And then so when Griff got on the glass, as it were, he thought, this is funny. This is good. This is where people have to, when something's not funny and not good, you got to say, hey, Griff, that's not funny or good, unless you just want to send him up and make him embarrass himself.
That'd be hilarious if his buddies did that intentionally.
If they're like,
Just
you, this
juicing
is
him
so
up.
good. This is so good. Do it. Do
That'd
it.
be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that the way you open that is actually what my thought on it was too. Was it's so easy to make fun of and mockable, but at least he's doing something. You know what I
He's doing
mean? Like
something.
he's doing something. But then my kind of follow-up thought was this is reflective of a larger plague in our society, which is nobody telling you no. Basically, everybody just encouraging you to keep going and to get the, blue ribbon, no matter, even last place gets the prize kind of a thing, where go ahead and just be yourself. That's fine. Express your personality, but also be aware of where you don't have talent and where you're not inclined. And don't necessarily lead with that or don't showcase that. And with zero discernment that it's different than what Eminem does,
I mean, okay, so now we have a bit of a track record with Griff's personality, right? We have Griff flowering into who he is, right? So we've got the dump out the back in J-Bay. We have dating a high school girl. We have a bunch of Joe Dispenza, mantra stuff. We have freestyle raps on the glass. So Griff is like a carefree dummy is what he is, and that's what he's showing us. And so how do you feel about that? Should he do a better job of curating something he isn't? I feel we're getting a real version of who he is.
Yeah. I guess you're absolutely right. and that's a accurate characterization of as I've interpreted him as well. Carefree dummy, supremely talented surfer, carefree dummy, not how you build a legacy, basically. Like
But okay, let's unpack this a little more. We're talking about surfing here, right? We are talking that our DNA is, like it or not, Jeff Spicoli. It is Turtle. It is Carefree Dummy with a little subtle, like I could picture a coffee table book coming out in 10, 15 years time, The Wisdom of Griffin Colapinto, which is when you take Carefree Dummy and you think, oh no, he was so carefree, he was right all along. I could see something like that happening. I don't think he's right all along, but Carefree Dummy is part of the DNA of surfing.
you're not wrong. I hate to admit it though. And if there is a coffee table book in the future, that will prove that we've gone farther down into Idiocracy's storyline than I ever imagined possible.
I mean, I think you're exactly right. Okay, but also unpacking this a little more, is there anyone on tour? Okay, let's look at the personalities on tour real quick. We have Carefree Dummy Griffin Colapinto. We have Bizarro Kardashian slash Real Housewife Idolo Ferreira. We have
Ro-
what are the other personalities we have on tour? We have Jordy Smith, I feel, who's being honest, but is like kind of from a different age that he speaks honestly and intelligently, and it's fine, but it doesn't really crack for me. Like,
right.
I like it. I like Jordy. I love Jordy. But it's not like, whoa, cool, Jordy. We have Kelly, Elder
He's not on
Statesman,
tour.
who's just not on tour at all, but still getting wild cards and is just like a bizarro narcissist, like swirling the drain somewhere. Uh, who else do we got? Who's flashing personality on tour?
Nobody's flashing it. Kanoa tries.
Yeah, but what's Kanoa's personality?
K-pop star.
He wishes probably.
He kind of has a boy band quality to him.
I mean, definitely does. And maybe if he played up to that a little more, if he was doing like little hearts on the post heat interview to the
You're
girl fans, and then what Kanoa
he's
should
not
actually do is start a J-pop band.
Is J-pop a thing?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
absolutely.
No, you're absolutely right. He could play into it much, much more. Like
Yeah,
my only kind of boy band assessment is his visuals, but he's definitely not playing that up personality wise. Um, you're right. There's very few on, I mean, we're struggling to even think of them.
we got. I mean,
When Gabriel Medina was on tour, he's not anymore, but he was RoboCop kind of like he had a thing.
I mean, Gabriel Medina was the Dark Knight. I felt he was the bad guy, and he was so bad, and he was so good that he eventually turned all his haters into fans.
Yeah.
That's how good he was, right?
Yeah.
Remember, everybody was mocking Gabriel early for being a crybaby and being this and that and the other thing. So good, so dominant, so fierce. I felt turned. People liked him being back. Then we had John, sort of corn-fed, disinterested in the noise, good guy, which classic trope. Minus them, now we have K slash J pop. We have lovable dummy. We have, or I don't even know if Griff's that lovable. What did I call him at first? Just dummy, surf dummy,
Forget.
something dummy.
He's a happy-go-lucky dummy.
Yeah, a carefree dummy.
Carefree.
We have. It's just a weird mix of, and maybe this appeals to the TikTok kids. Maybe the surf fans that it's not for us anymore. It is for like Griff's freestyle rap goes booming in surf TikTok, and off he goes.
I have a new segment I was thinking about introducing. It's kind of a theme. Uh, Something to do with like surfing's core score. And each week we update the score based on the news events of that week.
Great
So,
idea.
yeah, okay, thank you. So we can start now and maybe just clock it at 50% this week just for this heck of it.
Yep.
Like, to give an example, you know, Griffin Colapinto, soft top sales outpace hardboard sales in a given week. Core score drops 8 points, something like
Yep.
that. The Baron Joey on Instagram gets the best barrel of the week as a 60-something-year-old dude. Boom, we're back 5 points. You know what I mean? So those are the types of things, and we'll just come in, I think, at 50% now is, you tell me whether 50% is the right number to come in on. If to get to 100% score, basically, there would be no surf media that existed and nobody makes a living off of surfing. You would
Yes.
only be doing it on a stickerless board for your own sake and never posting a photo about it.
Just core dogs who we never know anything about, even if we wanted to.
Unless you go to the beach. If you go to
Yeah.
the beach and you're surfing, then you know who those people are. But I don't know who's at the other beaches because there's almost this vacuum. There's a void. You're only
Yes.
doing it for the love of the pursuit.
And
so the fact that we're talking to soft white dude, middle-aged white dudes are talking about surfing on a podcast and creating a core score means the score can never go above 85. Like if it
No,
ever goes past 85,
we're out
we
of
close
business.
the business.
Yeah.
We just have to acknowledge surfing's getting core. We need to shut down the podcast because we're doing more harm than good.
100%.
Okay. Cool.
Yes,
So I think
agree.
we enter at 50%.
We enter at 50. And so I would say after the Rio Pro, we are Idolo shucking cologne. Apparently took me many dives to realize what that was.
So when you asked me, I said it was cologne and you're like, is it though? And while we were talking, I got on Instagram and it was like, went to their feed, that brand's feed, translated everything, read through, and nothing said cologne.
It took 3 dives for me, or 3 layers down, to understand what that product was.
How crazy is that?
It's a wild, I mean, it's clearly not for any market other than the Brazilian market. And so they must know, the Brazilian market must know that brand. Like that must be like, if he was doing whatever, Cool Water by David
Off.
here, where they understand that, right? They're like, oh yeah, he's doing this now. But anyway, so Elo doing that, Griffin freestyle rapping puts us down to 45%. John sailing the world and giving up brings it back up to 50.
I don't think that brings it up to 50. I think that just ups it like 2, maybe 3. So let's go 48.
So 48. Where do you put what happens with the airs that are happening? The male and
it tracks flat because those are crazy airs, but they took place in a wave pool. So up 5 points, down 5 points.
And they go viral on social media. Nobody will see those airs unless you're like, on social media.
So down another point.
Yeah. So
down
those are
47.
-1. Okay. So we're 47.
Now here's another major conundrum that I had. Tom Curren just signed with Surf
Plunger.
Lakes. Yes. That was a hard one for me to accept.
I'm going to say that's core score up, because which is the weirdest pool that you have ever seen that, as far as I can tell, is completely unviable? Of course, that's the one. But having a giant rusty plunger dropping to make waves in all of the ways you can make waves these days, right? Various plows, various air chambers, various whatever. The least practical thing that it will never sell is a giant plunger, a piston dropping in. And of course, that's the one Tom Curren signs up for. So I'm going to say that's core score up too.
Okay. I'm going to have to argue against it because there's a lot of commerce involved in this. So even building the wave pool is a bunch of capital investment, like crazy amount of capital investment. And now developing it for years and then selling it and then bringing somebody in who there's now an exchange of money with a professional surfer. All of that is anti-core.
I'm going to say, though, flip that. This would be like if Tom Curren was out and got picked up by an ear sock company. We are selling surfing ear socks. So you can put your socks on your ears when you're, and you can't, these aren't just for a surfboard. These are for the boogie board you're surfing out. So they're ear socks for boogie board surfing. That's basically, and Tom Curren's like signing up, yeah, I'll be the ear sock for boogie board surfing spokesperson. Same diff with Rusty Plunger. It is, that thing is never going anywhere. That thing is never going anywhere.
I think we got to leave the score where it's at because I can't agree with this.
So
I think this only tarnishes Curren. I don't think Curren validates the pool.
if Curren had signed up for Surf Ranch, if Curren had signed up for Wave Garden, if Curren had signed up for
what you're saying.
Lockfeld or any other of the technologies, it would be a down. Him signing up for the one, imagine somebody with money thinking, you know what, of all the various wave pool technologies, I want to build a giant rusty plunger that has to go up and down and up and down to make waves. And that's the one. This thing is never leaving Yapoon. And the fact that it is in Yapoon right now, it's score up.
I'm the one with the pen and the piece of paper here, and I will not write a higher number than 47. I don't care what your argument is.
Okay, 47. What else
When-
do we got in
By the way, hold on. When was the last time you used a toilet plunger?
Probably a year ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's been 7 years,
Yeah.
and it's something you hope to never have to use, but you're so great. Like, I don't even know where the plunger is right now. If something went wrong, I might have to run to the store to get one. But man, oh man, when you need it, you need it. You're
The
grateful you have
crazy
it.
part about a plunger is that it absolutely works. Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
you would think that, are you kidding me? That thing's going to have a 30% strike rate, right? Like,
Nope.
I'm going to do that and I'm not going to unclog my toilet. That works 95% of the time of
Totally.
unless you have like roots clogging the line or a child flushed toy dinosaurs down the toilet or something. Like, if it's just a normal clog, you rusty plunge that stuff right down.
Exactly. No, it's an impressive tool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, core score sits at 47 right now.
47.
I've got a news story though, and we can just, as we go from week to week with news stories come in, we'll just slowly adjust. In surf news, WSL removed Anat Laylor's Israel flag from on their website where they list their surfers. Everybody has their flag next to their name. This is the second event where I've noticed that they've done this. She is an Israeli surfer, so they've removed her flag. Last time they did it, they actually commented. Once people kind of give them kickback, they commented on the reason that they did it was for her own safety to protect her. I believe she's competing. Well,
Morocco, wasn't it?
Bolito. Maybe originally it was Morocco, but right now the event I think is in Bolito.
Yeah.
So the flag's gone again. People have noticed it. What are your thoughts on this strategy of just, because from my perspective, I think number one, it sets a really bad precedent. I appreciate that their ambition is to protect her. That's great. I think it sets a bad precedent. And then furthermore, I don't think it protects her. The one person on your website without a flag is already evidence. And, you know, it doesn't take that much intel to know where she's from. So I don't know at what level it protects her.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give the WSL a pass on this one, to be honest, in terms of things are so hot right now, and there's enough people who could ostensibly, look at that and see an Israeli flag and just say, well, yeah, like the jerk, the dude who's reading the phone book, right? In the jerk, who's Naven R. Johnson or whatever, just like doof, where I could see in this day and age something like that happening, where you just get somebody going off, and if it's not there, it's not there. And so I don't like it. You'd hope that she could be proud of her country, and you would hope that people could be like, hey, we fully, absolutely 100% disagree with the war and all that, but she is not the government and that's where she's from, and so let her serve. But I don't think that's the climate we're in. So I think
It's crazy.
it's a sad assessment on our climate more than it is And you know how much I love to damn the WSL, but I think the WSL is probably smart on this one, TBH.
I hate to, it's just crazy to think that like we're at a place in time where there could be somebody who's simply scrolling their website and sees that flag, and that triggers them enough for them to go down and enact violence.
And or like somebody
Because that is the scenario that they're removing it for.
or somebody screenshots it, right, and puts it on some message board and
Yeah.
just, hey, this person is here. And then it like feeds into a whole people who don't care about surfing, people aren't scrolling the WSL's website, who know anything about surfing, but there's an Israeli surfer, blah, blah, blah here. And then it just goes into the dark ethers.
I guess, I mean, there's that obviously the news story this past week of that kid who set fires and then sniped
Yeah.
firefighters who came to fight the blaze. Um, he's 20 years old.
Yep.
And I'm like, my first thought was, man, when you're 20, you have so much life ahead of you. Like, I don't know how you could be that angry, you know, with so little life experience. But I think the flip side of that is you have so little understanding of consequence of your action. You know, you're just, it's all emotion basically. And there's no thinking through the thoughts. And that's where these terrible acts happen.
Completely. And so I could see how, again, the Israeli flag is hyper triggering at this
Yes.
day and age. And so ain't about the abundances of caution and all that, but I see how the WSL just thinks, man, if she's out in the world, the least we can do is provide a layer of security for her.
It's crazy to try to put yourself in her shoes, to think that that's the level of fear or caution that you have to move through the world with.
Completely, but I'm sure she's fully, I'm sure it's not even in the back of her mind. I'm sure it's in the front of her mind every time she goes anywhere, of what is the feeling about Israel in wherever I'm going.
When you're walking through the airport, don't pull out your passport till the very last second. When you hand your passport to the TSA, you're looking to see how they react to you, you know?
You better not have any Star of Davids, anywhere around. Like, all of it has got to be, and again, it's not like she's in the Netanyahu's desk, like saying, yep, let's do all this. Who knows where she stands on it all, right? But it doesn't matter. It's just
Right.
She's Israeli, and Israelis are seen as complicit in this, for right or wrong. That's what it is.
You had some bangers this week. I mean, potentially the best week ever of true grit or clickbait crap.
This is what happens when Beach Grit really hits the algorithmic slew, is when I just start thinking, what can we write here? And especially, it's a combo of Beach Grit hitting algorithmic slew, and then also nothing interesting at all happening in surf, which the decade plus I've been doing Beach Grit, I don't know that I've had a bigger stretch of waking up in the morning, trying to find a story that's remotely interesting and coming up utterly flat.
You need make Chaz grit again.
I mean,
make Chaz grit again. I think it's only your perspective. I think that you were able to find things to talk about in the past because they're all around. I mean,
sure.
the Griffin Colapinto rap could have given you 10 stories alone.
I'm doing this as soon as this podcast goes live. This is going to be the post that sends the podcast live. I can't wait to write this. I can't believe I didn't see it. I wasn't sent that, oddly. I was only sent freestyle rap versions of other things, and I was like, where's this coming from?
Gotcha. So for the record, House of Foam and Froth on Instagram, with periods in between each word. House period of Foam and Froth was the one who posted that. And that was one of a slate of those Instagram accounts that are kind of, they seem to be changed. Yeah, cyberbullying him, but they seem to change from week to week. There's like 5 or 6 of them rotating, but they're all kind of creating the same content.
Okay, so somebody sent me one of these and I tried to find it and couldn't, and maybe I did the underscores wrong. I don't know how many underscores there were between or whatever. But I asked, because I couldn't get in and see the actual content. Is it cyberbullying or is it just
No.
fun making?
It's definitely not cyberbullying.
It doesn't ever cross the threshold into like saying where Griffin Colapinto's address is and
No, no,
then
no, no.
lying. It's just all like jokes on him liking or dating a high school girl, all that.
It's literally things that he's done, like the rap, but with wording over it to make fun of it.
Yeah.
Like I forget what the wording was on that one. Oh, I think it said Griffin Colapinto lost 150,000 followers after fans realized he raps like a youth pastor at a skate park.
I
So that's
mean,
funny,
accurate.
accurate and funny, but
Yeah.
it's Griffin rapping, or the avatar for that account is him smoking a blunt. Like there's somebody posted in their Instagram stories at some point. It was Chloe Andino driving a car and Griffin Colapinto sitting shotgun with a big blunt in his mouth. And I think they tried to vanquish that photo after somebody published it, but of course people screen grabbed it. So that is the avatar.
Was it
So
a blunt or a cigar?
it was a blunt. It was like a hand rolled blunt.
Okay.
Yeah, poorly rolled. Um, so yeah, I mean it's all stuff that he's done. You know what I mean? So it's not like when I've seen cyberbullying, it's like, in the documentaries where a kid kills themselves because they were cyberbullied, it was,
Lies.
yeah, it was complete lies making up to try to ruin somebody's life. So I don't know. I see a difference here. And the other thing is, whoever's making these jokes is punching up
Yeah.
big
Yeah, they're
time.
punching up.
They're punching way up and they
Yeah.
can't reach. So, anyways, what's up, Oz? So go. You don't need my help. Oh, okay, but go ahead and go potty
Boom. Getting ready for Jello shots.
because I'm
Go ask mom
recording
for
a
a Jello
podcast.
shot.
Yeah. He's home from school this week, so man, that's been a challenge.
Sweet.
Okay, so you have to defend True Grit or clickbait crap.
Got it.
Quote, surfers rushed to South Florida with hopes of getting arrested by, quote, world's hottest cop, exclamation point, and double quote.
Did you see her?
No, I didn't open it. I mean, I just saw the photo that you posted, but I didn't open it up and like check her out.
Yeah, she is the world's hottest cop. I feel, or America's at least, and she plays it straight. Like she is the female version. How hot did you think? And I'm not being sexist here by calling her the world's hottest cop, because you know who the world's hottest cop was before her?
No.
Poncherelli.
Oh, okay.
Ponch. Remember Ponch and stinking Chips?
People absolutely sexualized Paunch.
And Ponch was hot. She is Ponch. Look at her. Look at her glasses. Look at every part of her.
Okay, I'm looking at her right now.
She's Poncherelli.
Detective Day Andrade.
Yeah. Punch. Just
Yeah,
call
I
her
mean,
Punch.
I think there's other female cops that are equally as hot. I mean, she's beautiful, no question.
She's like clearly like, but playing it up too. She has like, somebody sent her, I think it was Barreled, who put on her through her Instagram feed up. I think she has like 100,000 followers. So she's clearly playing. She's a detective in South Beach or wherever it is.
Hollywood, Florida PD.
Hollywood, Florida. She's a detective there, but clearly playing up her, and the department is also using it. She's the one who does their like Instagram notice and stuff. But also in the day and age of more and more, especially on the East Coast, surfers getting arrested for beach badge violations at all. Can't imagine a surfer who wouldn't think, oh man, this is a good day getting ticketed by Lady Punch.
If I was Detective Andrade and they're utilizing my image for all of this branding purpose and PR, I want to go light on the detective work. I'm basically your model and your spokesperson. That is what my paycheck is now about. You know what? Somebody else do the paperwork.
Unless she's got a bigger play going where she's solving some hard crimes, waiting just to sell the TV show of world's hottest cop, with like grit. Like she's actually sorting stuff out.
So my question to you is, quote, surfers rush to South Florida with hopes of getting arrested by her. Is that True Grit or clickbait?
I would think that's clickbait, but I think that I don't know what I know surfers in Florida. I know how bad the waves are there. I could imagine a bunch of surfers in Florida sitting around thinking, should we actually like rally up the coast and try to get like some little run of swell at New Smyrna that's going to be knee high? Or should we head over to Hollywood and try to drink and smoke and bring our pet to the beach and get arrested by She Punch?
If I lived in that community, I would be on Andrade watch.
I mean, obvious she's got to be a full she's got to be a full celebrity there. And if you're a
Anytime,
surfer,
yeah. Anytime I saw a cop car, I'd be peering in just to check.
just to check, is that her? And again, not that she's like the most stunning person on earth or whatever, but now she's a celebrity. And I feel sometimes it's better to go chase an adventure like that than to go chase knee-high slop.
So I've heard women classically comment about a man in uniform and how that does it for them. How do you feel about the woman in uniform?
Oh, it's a draw for me. Like
Me
it doesn't do anything, but it also doesn't do anything negative.
Same.
It's like like to be quite frank, I like a well, now I'm gonna show my cards here. I
Go
really
on.
I really love a woman in like a good business attire. So I apparently that's a uniform.
Okay.
Yeah.
A classic, like, uh, what type of business attire? We're
It
talking
doesn't
about
have to be classic. It can be a riff on business attire, but going to business, right? Like
okay.
going to do high level meetings, going all this kind of stuff, which is why Cersei Wallace, I got it. I like get the business attire woman, business
So
attire
this,
Barbie, but
so
I like business attire.
my psychological assessment here is that this has to do with authority.
Kind of,
You like a
mostly,
woman who knows who's going to boss you around a little bit.
I'm gonna say with drive more, with
Okay.
somebody who's not just out there like letting life come to them, who's out there grabbing life by the horns. Business attire to me says you're out there grabbing life by the horns.
See, this is interesting. Since you showed yours, I'll show mine.
Yeah.
I would go the exact opposite of this, which is casual lounge around, lay on the sofa attire.
Yoga pants.
Sure. Or I mean, they don't have to be form fitting like that. That's not, but just like anybody that I've ever loved, or, been with, like it's when they're completely dressed down, no makeup, just like guard down. That's my
Okay.
favorite look.
But let's take it beyond that, right? Let's get in line and we'll just use Starbucks because it's a catch-all. You're in line at Starbucks. Now there's a dressed down cash woman ready to relax in line, power suited up woman, and Officer Punch. Which one are you like more geared toward?
I'd go au natural, number one. So dressed down, no makeup, hair tousled. Uh, businesswoman number two, paunch number three.
So I'm going businesswoman one, Punch two, hair down three.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. For what it's
Why
worth.
that's why you and I are good road mates.
Exactly. All right. Well, moving on from world's hottest cop. Quote, Australian surfers disparaged by country's home affairs minister in wake of canceled Ye West visa. No exclamation point this time.
No, but I do believe they were. I feel that which country has given more money to pro surfing than Australia?
None.
Zero. They honestly, Margaret River Pro is 100% funded by Western Australia. We got Snapper brought back on tour, which was for sure with heavy funding from the Gold Coast tourism boards. We have Bells, which is a staple, but also they're pouring money into that. On top of all that, that's just WSL. We got board riders stuff. We got QS stuff. We have Australia's pouring more money into surfing than anyone, right?
Yeah.
Who do they got in the top 5 right now?
Ethan?
Barely. And Griffin's coming for him. Ethan Ewing's sitting at 5.
You already know the rankings?
Yes.
You're crazy on top of your game lately.
Yeah. Ethan's sitting at 5. Griffin's going to overtake him likely in JB, right? Unless
No,
Ethan, I mean, could.
Ethan's going to win JB.
Well, if Ethan wins JB, that's fine. But
I get your point though.
all this money getting dumped in, you got Ethan, and then I think your next, I think Robinson's at 7. And that's basically it, right? And Robinson feels like he's going nowhere fast this entire year. He does not have the spark. Jack Robinson doesn't say to me, like, I'm going to make a last 2 event rush. Does he to you?
I mean, the kid could win.
But he's been off.
Chopu.
He's been off all year, I feel.
Okay. I hear the point you're making, but connect this to the country's home affairs minister in wake of canceled Ye West visa.
So he canceled Kanye West visa. And the statement he made while canceling it is, we have enough problems in this country without importing bigotry. And I got to think that top of mind is the amount of money the government has spent on surfing. To what end? What are you getting from it? You are getting nothing. So I feel it was a veiled shot at Australian surfers of like, we have given you how many countries? Guess what? Guess how many other countries get surf contests? Couple, they get 1. We've got 3 because we're pouring money into you. You are failing. We've got, this is our problem. We don't need Kanye on top of this.
It is a tenuous connection, but I see it. I see the threads. So Kanye, we got bigger problems over here. Our surfers are not performing.
We have poured money into these surfers like no country has ever poured money into surfers or surfing on earth. And we've got basically nothing to show for it. Liam O'Brien is off tour. Stinking Connor O'Leary surfs for Japan now, for pity's sake. Like, we got nothing, and we got to figure this out. And so we don't have time for you.
So, denying his visa, was he going there to like work?
I mean, I think it's to go there to perform theoretically, right?
Yeah.
And also
Okay. I don't know.
Bianca Sensori is Melbourne. She's Australian. So his wife is Australian. So
I didn't know they were still together.
I think she came back. She came back around to wear the candy bikini.
They always do.
Yep. Love wins.
Yeah. True love. She might be the perfect example who walks the balance between my preferences and yours. She is simultaneously dressed in casual attire and fully glammed up.
So true. Bianca Sensori is you and my unicorn.
Weird.
So true.
Weird that we would have stumbled upon this. She is
so
dressed in like the most casual attire I've ever seen.
But
yet,
to the nines.
To the nines.
Yeah. That is
what
so
the
true.
Heck?
Bianca Sensori.
Wow.
Thank
it's
you,
like
Bianca.
this is, and obviously Kanye was the one who is styling her, I think is the way that goes. So it's almost like he had the genius plan of how do we tap into a little bit of everything. The next thing she'll be wearing a police badge.
Done. Oh, naked, like something fancy naked with a police badge. It's coming.
Kanye, if you listen to this show, get on it. Ye West. That's the other confusing thing about your title is I didn't know who Ye West was.
He officially changed his name now. So I think it's like super old man style. It's like the people at this point who continue to call X Twitter, right? You're like making a point of not recognizing, either you're making a point of not recognizing it, or you're too slow to think, no, what is Twitter? What are you talking? X is Twitter. Like, no, sorry. Like, yeah, people could do the funny formerly known as Twitter thing for a while, but once they decide to company change the name to X, after 2 years, you just stupid company name is X.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip the third one. We'll just move on.
Yeah. Third one was the third one today's.
The third one was Surfer's Thrill as Kim Jong-un announces opening of North Korea Waikiki, exclamation point.
That one was called, quote, North Korea's Waikiki, end quote, in South Korean press. And so that one is grit.
All right.
Anytime you're calling something North Korea's Waikiki, that directly ties to surfing, the almost birthplace, quite possibly, whether you like it or not.
Who's going to travel there? Who's going to go? I mean,
Russians,
Waikiki,
apparently.
Russians?
Apparently, that's the hope. They're because Russians can no longer come here, right? Like Russians are restricted, and so North Korea is like, hey, Russians, come on over. We got Waikiki for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what the design looks like? Like, is
There,
it going to be big retail? Is it going to be street performers? What are they going for?
there's a picture in the story if you want to click on it of how it looks, where it is a looks like a fairly uninteresting strip of coast with a bunch. It looks like Surfer's Paradise, to be quite frank.
So I think they're really missing the point of Waikiki. Okay, I'm looking at the image now. It's just a beach with hotels.
Yeah, it's Surfer's Paradise.
They're just, I mean, there's Myrtle Beach. there's a million, there's a million other beaches with hotels on them. They're missing the essence of Waikiki, the thrill and the allure of it.
They should have built a little mini Diamond Head or a big Diamond Head, a full-size Diamond Head, because that's what I feel sets Waikiki off. Waikiki, unlike Surface Paradise, is not just, or many of these, or Dubai, or any of these where you just have high rises on the water. The fact that Waikiki comes around and then there's Diamond Head, Waikiki is dynamic in multiple ways.
It is totally. Okay. Well, moving on, I have a follow-up from last week's. We did Tay sent in the question about the lawless landscape of female greetings.
Yes.
We got a follow-up here from Alejandro who says Chaz and DLS growing up in a cheek kissing family and Hispanic background, but also in white Southern Californian beach communities, and then later living in Australia, I can say with confidence the following principles. Women should always be the one to lead the interaction if in doubt. Even in predominantly cheek kissing cultures, I have met women, both family members and not, who express their discomfort with the expectation of landing a kiss with male strangers. It also feels gross to overstep as the dude, so absolutely always let the ladies lead. Second, I think that cheek kissing variability is most prominent and equally weird with English and Australians. I feel like when I run into this substrata of Anglo cheek kiss, it is often a put on, social climber sort of cheek kiss that is supposed to identify oneself as being more quote cultured or European. In a sad turn to classism, the only people in these cultures that seem to execute the cheek kiss naturally are people who are of higher social class and often have accompanying qualities of discretion and being well traveled. People with foreign parents from a cheek kissing culture are saved from this judgment, irrespective of class. Finally, cheek kissing is way less intimate than a full hug and not as cold as a handshake. But within that range of subtlety, there reveals a lot about a person who you're interacting with. I was excited to see them and gave them a proper kiss on the cheek while they turned slightly and kissed the air. Or maybe we just didn't lean in and give a slight kiss on the cheek, but it involved a proper turning the head and pressing the cheek to each other in joy. That means something else. Or this person just kissed me and lingered a bit longer than I would like, which tells me they want something from me, and so on. It's usually quick, not a detail to be discussed, but offers maybe a more holistic range of clues to your standing with the person. Bonus. I think a zenith of male to male greeting is the upward tilted hand clasp to corresponding shoulder bump and back pat. Not an embrace, yet not impersonal. It expresses fraternity, respect, and strength. That felt oddly macho to write, but it also felt true. Work, Alejandro.
Alejandro, thank you so much. A lot of good work there. Mostly, I mean, a lot of it was good. I really appreciated the people who put on especially Anglos who put on the cheek kiss as a, hey, I went and studied abroad when I was 19. And this is what I'm bringing back to me and making it part of my thing. Totally unchill. Like, if you're not natively from those cultures, don't do it unless you were in those cultures, and then do your best to get along with it. But you don't bring that back home.
It feels too affected.
So, because it is too affected.
Yeah.
You are affecting it at that point.
Yeah.
The other thing, yeah, the hand clasp in hug is great. And
For dudes.
all dudes should know how to do that comfortably. Like, because you'll hit the dude sometimes who does that uncomfortably, and it's like, man, that's not my fault. You don't know how to do that. If that's like the vibe, and if you kind of went in for that and still did it bad, you got to get a good one of those. It is incumbent upon men to learn the clasp hug, even if that's not your native go-to.
So I hate to make this a gender bias situation, but to Tay's point of the lawless land of female greetings, males figured it out. Males figured out a perfect greeting, and it's kind of encompasses a lot. Like it is a hug, but it is a handshake, but there's an embrace involved. It's the combination of all of it.
But you and I have never not once greeted each other that way. It's not for everyone.
Say again.
You and I have never ever hand claps to hug.
Correct.
That's not
true.
our vibe. Our vibe is a handshake.
That's true.
So there's a time and a place for that, but I'm not confused with that. Rarely do I ever, there's some vibe, and maybe this is what Tay, do a better job. You're at fault, Tay. Do a better job at picking up on the vibe, because I know the dude 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, who's a hand clasper hugger. You just pick up on that vibe, right? Not after talking for a while, because this is also always the greeting. I've never attempted that on you. What if I came up to you and hand clasp hugged? How awkward would you feel?
So I was thinking about it as you're talking, less awkward now after our road trip. So
But
I think
it's
I think our handshake greeting is a reflection of this was a business relationship ostensibly, like we're colleagues, we're recording a podcast together. When we see each other in person, it's a handshake, but now we've spent extended time together, so it can go beyond the handshake.
We could, except so then pull back a little bit. I'm a native handshaker, right? Handshake is my natural greeting. I will clasp hug, but I'm not a clasp hugger out of the gate. I will recognize clasp hug and perform clasp hug to clasp huggers, but left to my own devices, I am a handshaker. I'm not a hugger. I'm not a clasp hugger. I'm a handshaker.
To me, it's about 50-50, and the dividing line is intimacy.
How often do you clasp hug?
So everybody coming over tomorrow for 4th of July is going to get a clasp hug. Yeah. Because they're coming into my home. Yeah.
Boom.
But let's say it's just a neighbor who I don't know that well, but they're coming over because of the proximity.
Handshake.
Maybe a handshake.
So Derek Riley probably was my North Star on this early. The younger man coming up. Derek Riley, when he enters the room, will go around the room, eye contacting, handshaking. It's eye contact, handshake with everyone around the room, right? And that's what I always think. That's what we should be. That's what we should be. That's the ideal, to be quite frank, is the handshake. We don't need more than that. Clasp hug, I'm down with performing, but the handshake is the gold standard.
Disagree. I'm going with Alejandro on this one. I think handshake, you're right. It depends the room. If you're just casual acquaintances, sure, Derek's doing the right thing. But if it's your kids, your friends, and your kids spend a bunch of time together and you know each other really well and you've had 20 meals together, clasp hug.
Okay. I'm going to go perform. I don't know anyone in this city, but I'm going to go try to throw a clasp hug down to I'm sure I'll see someone at ballet pickup who I could ostensibly clasp hug.
You're going to go premature clasp hug?
I'm going to go try it. I'm going to go see how it works. I'm going to go see because if Alejandro's right, that should feel good to both of us.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, if that is the ideal, if that is the goal, if clasp hug is gold standard, then it'll feel good.
Even if it is premature.
Exactly. Because that's the goal. You're performing to the highest level.
I like it. We'll report back later.
Definitely.
More as the story develops. The other detail I liked from his thing that kind of I didn't think about last time was just that the kiss cheek is it's less intimate than the hug.
Yes.
You would think that the hug, it's just bodies touching and the kiss cheek is faces touching, but he's right. Something about a full body touching, I don't know. It's a little bit more intimate.
Definitely more intimate, but again, and he hit it out of the park on this. The nuance of what happens in a cheek kiss is so much more.
It's revealing of them. It's giving you, it's revealing of them in general, and it's also revealing of what they think of you.
But back today, did Tay write or call back in to express any opinion on?
No, haven't
Okay.
heard back from Tay.
So Tay, waiting upon you, because we've helped you now twice. Alejandro helped you on this time. It's incumbent upon you to initiate whatever greeting. And of course, he's saying initiate with men. But I think also upon you, initiate the greeting you want on your female friends.
There you go. Take the lead. All right. Well, after all that work, I think we need a break, and then we'll come back and wrap up with Barrel or Nah.
Great.
By the way, do you want to do the bonus show next week?
We
Like
can,
on,
or I can.
on Monday.
I'm good now. Yeah, Monday's easy for me.
Let's do Monday after Noble Rot, just because I've got stuff I got to get to right now.
Yep, I'm gonna go get one more orange wine glass.
Go for it. All right. Welcome back from break.
Good break.
Are you a orange wine fan?
No.
Okay.
Are you?
Chaz is drinking orange wine, by the way. Not a fan, but I'm not anti. I'm still on the fence about it. I've never had one that I thought was phenomenal, but I've never had one that was offensive. So I'm kind of open to it anytime I see it.
There is a time and place for it. I've realized the time and place is really narrow compared to every other wine. And also that time and place can be filled with another wine, maybe better. But I'm trying to think. Where I discovered orange wine. I'll tell you my orange wine origin story, David Lee Scales.
Orange origin?
Orange origin was hanging legs over into the waters in Copenhagen, Denmark. This is early days of of course, in Denmark, as they do, discover things way earlier. So this would have been like, I don't know, it's 5-6 years ago. When was the first time? I mean, you're a wine connoisseur, but when was the first time you had orange wine?
5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, so that was the first time I think I'd ever had it. And late summer, sun is up till 10:30. You're dipping your toes in the water in Copenhagen. Orange wine was like perfect there. And so I think anytime I go back orange, I'm trying to recreate that moment. But there could have been nothing better. It was like every part of the orange wine spoke to everything that was happening in that moment.
Good that you accept that. I mean, way too often we try to replicate those experiences. And whether it is barbecue in Texas or orange wine in Denmark or Copenhagen or what, like it's not replicable.
It is there. Yeah. I mean, I remember I was traveled around Bolivia as a young 20-year-old, and they drink poro there. Have you ever done poro? Poro?
No.
The what's it? What's the yerba mate? And they do it in Argentina too. And they drink it out of like a gourd with a silver straw, and it's real specific. And when I was in Bolivia, I just thought this is the greatest thing ever. It is like better than tea. It's the best thing ever. So I bought the whole setup home, and it's the best thing ever in Bolivia. It was not good even remotely back home.
When in Rome,
Yeah.
do as the Romans do, but don't bring that home.
Nope. Don't. When in New York, don't do as the Romans do.
When in home, don't bring Rome.
Man, that's a solid hat right there.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I shouldn't reveal this quite yet.
Did you make Pussy Cadigan hats?
Todd, if you're listening, get on it. These aren't ready to go quite yet, but we do got some merch coming.
Oh yeah, Kook and Curren.
We do have merch en route, so we'll say more once it's fully available.
I can't wait to see. But also, I was chuckling myself about the Make Pussy Cat Again. It really works. Make Pussy Cat Again, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Make Pussy Cat Again. It's got like the perfect. I want to make Pussy Cat Again hat.
What color would the hat be?
It has to be red.
Orange after Garfield.
Oh yeah, orange. Oh man, with a little bit of lasagna on the back.
Um, by the way, I made the mistake. I'm going to reveal this one to listeners, whoever wants to do a deep dive or a, I don't know what. Last week when we were publishing the episode talking about pussyfooting, I needed an image for the website to put with that segment. And so I just
Wow.
Googled pussyfooting
Wow.
and the internet, people say the internet did not disappoint. The internet disappointed this time. The internet was the most disappointing result that I could ever have witnessed. And I texted Chaz, I was just like, I dare you to Google image search pussyfooting. And he's like, is it going to be like porn? Because I'm on a plane and I can't look at it. And I go, it's not porn, but it's crazy.
I was
There you go.
so that's all you need. I won't add anything other than that, other than to say I was really reticent to do it because I was like, I'm stinking on a plane, right? Who wants to open up something crazy offensive on a plane? I was both stunned and disappointed at the same time. I'll just leave it at that too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Disappointed in humanity.
Yep.
Yep.
Go look.
So pussyfooting, Google image search if you dare. Okay. Getting into barrel or nah. Beatboxing.
Wow. Absolute barrel for people who can do it. Like you see those videos of people who can make their voice and hands and lips and tongues and whatever ridiculous instruments, and I'm all for it, right? It is a skill that is, how do you do that? But I will say it's a barrel on the level of magic, where I'm like, how do you do that? That's really cool, but I don't really personally want to have anything to do with it.
The difference is David Copperfield's a legit millionaire.
The Have you watched, there's a new one on Netflix where he's a stand-up magician.
No.
So I wouldn't have watched it, but Buddy's wife likes magic and so kind of regularly drags him to the Magic Castle, which is hilarious in and of itself. Have you ever been to the Magic Castle in LA?
I had, yeah, I had an experience there.
Yes.
I went there like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so the Magic Castle is an experience, or like worth going if you can go, right? Would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
Purely for people watching, all of it. It is a full-on experience. But people are into magic. So this guy opened his stand-up slash magic routine with, there are two people here. There are people who like magic, and then the person they brought, right? And so automatically I was kind of chuckling of like, I'm the person they brought. Like he's witty. In any case, I won't go too long into it. It's such nerd business. Even when it's amazing, it's the nerdiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about beatboxing, but I'm still going to give it a barrel for its unique. I want to protect bizarre subcultures.
I agree. I think it's barrel too. It's the talent is really impressive. My gripe with it now is we're only seeing this on our phone. I've never seen a beat. I mean, I haven't seen a beatboxer in real life since I was on Third Street Promenade in Santa Monica 15
Sure.
years ago. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So now I only see beatboxers on my phone, at which point I'm like, it just sounds like music. How do I know this person isn't just standing at a mic making noises with their mouth or making look movements with their mouth and playing music off to the side?
I mean,
There's no way to vet it.
the crazy, we talked about it on the road trip of your dad falling for a America's Got Talent or whatever, of a person turning into an actual animal where he was amazed by it and he just
Yeah.
got straight deep faked, right?
Yes.
You got deep faked by a Diddy courtroom picture at some point. Wife gets deep faked. We're all getting deep faked at this point regularly. So the amount of time that it takes, so you see the next level beatbox dude, and then thinking, if I have to go in and figure out if this dude is real or not, I don't have the time or energy or care to do that. And so I'm just going to discount it as deepfake. That's where I'm at, kind of on
Me too.
beatboxing too.
I got
Even though
those
I know that people do amazing beatbox, if it looks too ridiculous to be true, I discount it.
I got the videos that you got this week from people DMing them, and I'm like, 20 seconds in, I'm I'm like, okay, the first noise he made was his mouth, and then the second noise he made was his mouth. And by 20 seconds in, there's 15 noises being layered on top of one another. And I'm like, this is just like a synthesizer off to the side. I don't know why I'm even trying. I'm devoting my own time and energy and time away from my family to figuring this guy out.
And if you cared, right, I guarantee there would be a path, 15-minute path to realizing if that guy was real or not. Right? Because if he's real and that good at what he does, then there's stories and there's other videos and you can actually vet. But that's what it takes to vet in this day and age. If in doubt, it's fake is a way better program to operate on than if in doubt, it's true.
My agreed. And then my final thought was kind of back to the point of, but David Copperfield's a millionaire. I'm watching this guy going, to what end? Like, I
Was he
mean, maybe.
BTS or something though? I thought that dude was like in a Korean boy band or
Okay,
something.
okay, great. So if you do that, or maybe you go on America's Got Talent or some show like that, and then you get invited to be in BTS or whatever it is, that's 0.001% of
Yeah.
beatboxers on the planet. You know what I mean? Like,
But how many magicians are out there at the Magic Castle, even for pity's sake? Like David Copperfield is the unicorn of magicians. Like they're not, I mean, I guess are all the
no,
ones working at Vegas too, but
there's a career path for magicians.
if you're really good at it,
There's a career path for rappers. There isn't a career path for beatboxers.
that's true.
Nobody's
I mean,
buying a beatbox album.
which again, I feel we learned directly, and not to throw beatbox in with breakdancing, but I feel we learned that directly in the Olympics of breakdancing was an abject failure in the Paris Games. I think they thought we're going to bring in you. It was just mockable. I mean, what we got out of it was ray gun, right? It was a disaster for the whole even endeavor where some things should just stay hardcore underground where you don't make money off it. You don't make a career off it. You just, if you love beatboxing, you do it. And you also work as a waiter.
Um, Griffin Colapinto is to rapping what Raygun was to breakdancing.
Did you see any background to why Griffin did that?
No,
Did they prompt him? Would they're like, hey,
again,
we've
no,
heard,
I
we've
didn't.
heard you've been walking around the, thing rapping.
Did not. I was almost inclined to investigate, but I was not.
If I asked you to perform a freestyle rap right now, could you?
No,
Would you?
no. I wouldn't even do it in the privacy of my own room with nobody listening. That's how much, I don't know what dignity I have. I wouldn't even sully my reputation to these four walls.
You wouldn't sully your reputation as a surf podcaster to throw down a freestyle rap.
No, to out of respect for the game, like out of
Yeah.
respect for rap, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, I do have dignity as well, but geez, I know my limits.
But I'm still giving barrel to beatboxing. Just
Okay.
don't expect to get paid.
All right. Uh, in reference to 4th of July, summertime, barrel or nah, slip and slides.
Ooh, I'm gonna say straight up barrel. Nothing but not bad slip and sides are 99 out of 100. But every one of us has had that 1 in 100 slip and slide experience where the person did the right thing with soap, where you're not getting like rug burn on the slip and slide, where the slip and slide is actually long enough, where you get like the thrill of the enough, and where the landing is not a harsh grind into gravel or something, like it's a roll into a mud puddly grass area, right? That you get a good slip and slide. There's no way anyone who no barrels slip and slides just means you've never experienced a good slip and slide.
Slip and slides are the most fun that I have any given year. Summertime rolls around for the last, I don't know how long, 5 years or so. I buy, it's about one a year, maybe one will last me 2 years. I go on Amazon and I buy the biggest one you can buy. And it's not slip and slide brand. It's just like basically a tarp,
Yeah.
just like an off-brand giant tarp. And it's like however big I can fit into my yard is the one that I'm going to get. And you stake it down. It is so much fun. It's cheap and it lasts all summer long. It is so much fun. And despite all of our advising As adults, don't get on a trampoline. As adults, be wary of
You can't
falling
get a
down.
slip. You're laying on the ground.
The slip and slide is fun. I've
Just
never gotten hurt on it.
and just don't go like don't do tricks on the slip. Like don't try to do a flip on the
Or
entrance.
don't try to surf it. Don't try to stand on your feet and run
Nothing. You
down
go
it. No.
straight on the belly. You run in low angle. Don't even sprint. Like because the good slip and slide will build your momentum for you. You don't need to come in crazy hot. Like
And I do see clumsy adults jumping, like
you don't do that.
the low approach is key. Run
Yeah.
fast, get low as you're running, and then just glide onto it. But the big flop onto it, that's where you're gonna get hurt.
It's funny that I feel peak slip and slide came in our middle junior high years where all of a sudden everybody thought slip and slide. So then what we need on the slip and slide is like a castle based splashdown at the end, and we need frogs spitting at you in the middle. And they totally took the only joy of the slip and slide is the sliding. The like
Yeah.
all of the accoutrement. But for a while there, and I feel everybody learned the lesson, like, oh, nobody wants that. But there was so many egregiously decadent slip and slides where even the slip and slide itself would be like 25 feet, but you would end in, a magical princess pond with all kinds of extra stuff. They really got the slip and slide wrong.
Where the moment they realized they went too far was when they built the slip and slide that had like a speed bump in the middle that was supposed to be a
Yes.
jump.
Yep.
So it's like you hit the middle and you get a little air and then you keep going. It's like that, number one, slows the momentum, and number two, hurts
Breaks
you.
your ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I added this to Barrel and All this week was I saw an Instagram video of dudes who set up a kickball thing with slip and slides leading into the bases. So you're at home plate and you kick it, it goes to outfield, you run, and then you dive into first base.
Genius.
I know. I was like, dude, those guys are having a blast.
At least half of them are getting hurt, but
So
that's fun.
the only time I have been hurt was a long time ago when I was a kid, and somebody had ripped a hole in the slip and slide, because you do have people trying to stand on it and then they'll fall and their elbow goes in and the elbow rips a hole. So I didn't know the hole was there, and I went as you're supposed to, head first, arms forward, and my finger went in the hole,
Ooh.
caught the momentum of my body, kept going, so it like whipped me around into a 180 and broke my finger.
Yeah. Slip and slides are, but slips and slides are the right amount of danger though, because they're not safe. You don't want to safe. We're all too safe in this day and age, but it's not a guaranteed you're going to die.
No, you can mitigate against all the danger
Yep.
with caution.
Yep.
But there is still danger there. Okay, good. Barrel on slip and slides. I'm going to go play on one tomorrow. Final barrel or not comes from Surfer Ross, stuck in traffic. He says, surf stunts. Barrel or not. The older I get, the more surf stunts age like fine wine. When I was younger, I cringed at the disruptive antics in surf culture. I was peeved at the attention hogs who were proud of stunts like barrel riding while playing guitar, the Red Bull foam wreckers contest, skiing down big waves in snow skis, dirt biking down big waves, riding rails in wave pools, Peter Schroff chainsawing a pop-out surfboard. The list goes on. But now I view these stunts and I'm delighted. Those antics feel more endemic to surf culture than most other sports. They're crucial to our culture, and I'm worried that it's happening less. One big stunt that seems to be missing in surfing is surfing with helicopters. Why haven't we seen the first acid drop out of a chopper? This was accomplished in 2012 on a skateboard back with Danny Way. I thought surfing wasn't far behind, but here we are over a decade later. So I ask, why don't we see more billionaire surfers helping? Who are our modern day Bunker Spreckles with endless resources to fund a restless spirit? What stunt would Bunker pull in modern surfing? Certainly Zuck on a motorized foil ain't cutting it. Thanks, twerk. Surfer Ross stuck in traffic.
Man, Surfer Ross. I totally love the impassioned plea. I like how you've thought about it. I like how you think about them. I loathe surf stunts. Like Jamie O'Brien on fire in the barrel. Because they're all, I feel that Evel Knievel was way well before his time, where he blew it out so much, he broke his body jumping over the Grand Canyon on a motorbike. All of Evel Knievel's stunts, the fact that his name was Evel Knievel, for pity's sake. Any surf stunt I see, I compare, and maybe this is just my age, but I compare to Evel Knievel and I think you guys are dumb. Jamie O'Brien's fire in the barrel was probably the best surf stunt. I think fire in Chopu was the best surf. That was peak surf stunt.
Well, I just by default have cringed every time I've seen them, but reading his email made me rethink it a little bit.
Okay, but let's go down the path a little bit here. You liked Evil Knievel.
Oh yeah,
Uh, so that's the thing. There's with surf stunts, the stakes aren't there. Evil Knievel, he was gonna die
that's true.
every time.
That's true.
In a surf stunt, like playing ukulele in a barrel. So again, the closest we got was Jamie O'Brien on fire in Chopu.
Well, to correct Ross, the acid drop off a helicopter has been attempted by Nathan Fletcher. Nathan Fletcher did it with Michael Oblowitz for that film Heavy Water.
Yes, he sure did. I think the hard thing about a helicopter and waves is the helicopter actually beats the wave to
Yeah.
nothing. Like when you're close enough to jump out, the downwind or whatever's coming off the blades of a helicopter chops the waves. So it's hard to practically do.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the video right now. If I remember correctly, he does not execute it. He does not land it, but they try a bunch and they still put the footage in the film because obviously they spent a ton of money on it.
But the
But
problem is also that like the acid drop off from surfboard, whether it be running off a cliff and trying it, it never works because the wave is never moving fast enough. And
Yeah.
so your board just sticks. There's no way to gauge that momentum. There's no way to do it. So it's like that's a thing meant for skateboarding that should not be replicated in surfing because it flat out doesn't work. You can never, the wave, unless a wave was coming in, I mean, maybe you could get a wave pool that the wave was coming in so fast that you could time it and jump off something and hit a really fast wave. But all you ever get from an acid drop off anything into a wave is a bog.
So I'm going to go with my first instinct on this one. Surf stunts, no barrel for me.
It's no
And
barrel for me.
I'm taking the same stance I have with strawberries. It's the perfect food. You don't need to add anything to it. If you do, at best, it's a lateral move. You can never improve upon a strawberry. And that's how surfing, it's like, how are you going to gussy it up? It's already perfect.
Especially when it comes to death defying, like what made again Evil Knievel stunts amazing was they were death defying. I get that same feeling from somebody riding as deep as they can at Chopu
Yes.
on a massive day, where it's like,
Exactly.
how is this person hanging on? So you throw in a guitar, then that makes it silly. It makes it not death defying anymore. Evil Knievel wasn't goofing around; he was defying death.
That is the key here. I am sorry, Ross, and I'll leave a little door open for if you can envision a stunt with enough funding that would satisfy all of these terms, maybe I'll be open to it. But I don't think it'll be crazier than Emio Cermak's barrel that I saw from Chopu recently.
What I have once thought and still think this could be good and beyond surf stunt is, and maybe this has happened before, maybe I'm just slow, but two people take off kind of on a Wally wave, both on wave storms, both holding big Nerf jousting poles, and you just do surf jousting, which this feels like it would be a kind of localism. One guy goes left, the other guy goes right. You're coming down the line. It's kind of a closeout, but enough, it holds open enough. Surf jousting, I think, could be a surf stunt that would satisfy this as fun.
This also makes the wave pool relevant because you
Yeah.
can do a wave pool where the wave meets in the middle, guys take off on opposite sides coming at each other, one man lives.
Because that'd be pretty good, right? Then we have
Yeah,
like
I like it.
back to like ladies in the stand, like they give their handkerchief to their champion, and like surf jousting seems like something that could work.
This is genius. I am now totally engaged in all of this. I'm engaged in the wave pool. I'm engaged in the red knight versus the black knight,
Exactly.
kind of a thing.
How
And
good was the Heath Ledger Knight's Tale?
yeah, epic.
Classic movie. I mean, could we do a grit surf joust at a way? Could we make this happen?
I don't know who would sign up to be the jousters. The thing is, there is real stakes because getting Nerf jousted off isn't the worst thing. But who's going to back down from this game of chicken where you're aiming your pointy surfboards at one another?
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody's going to get impaled.
That's what I'm saying. There's like real proper, like this is how we make surfing great again.
It really is. Oh,
Yeah.
horse score down, by the way. If we so we're at 47 until we invented surf jousting in a pool, down to 32 now.
Nope.
All right, I'll take it back. Let's keep it at 47 for the end of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
47.
Until somebody actually implements it.
Yeah.
And we'll properly downgrade it.
It'll be us. But if you are a pool owner / a event sponsor, I've been dreaming of surf jousting for years at this point, and let's make it happen.
This also, I now see a Hollywood film. This is like $80 million invested in the pool. It's on the brink. Nobody else, it's on the brink of failure. Nobody else will invest in it. But the harebrained CEO, Ben Stiller, designs one last roll of the dice.
It's dodgeball. It
Yeah.
is any of those movies. So funny. I watched last night. When was the last time you watched 50 First Dates?
When it first came out.
It is so it's kid loves a Adam Sandler film. And I think it's her second favorite Adam Sandler film after Happy Gilmore. It was on last night. She was exhausted. She's like, "Oh, can we just please watch 50 First Dates?" Yeah, it's sweet. It is so wildly offensive to Hawaii. Rob Schneider is the Hawaiian local. It is absolutely ridiculous.
With the lazy eye or one dead eye or something.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler gets away with a lot.
You could say murder, but
Yeah.
surf joust. He will get away with surf joust.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. He's the man to make it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, putting it out there.
Sweet.
All right. Great show. We will be over on Noble Rot on Monday, and then we're also going to drop a bonus show on Patreon of Extra Fine Grit on Monday. So look forward to that after the weekend.
And happy 4th, everyone.
Happy 4th of July, everyone. See you next week.
Keep work.